placed again. Gomes goes to 50 and we'll get another one. That's a bad throw from out there. Graham Wood, the man at deep mid wicket. Hard bouncing throw to Rodney Marsh, and 50 to Larry Gomes, who so often has saved West Indies batting in recent years with the type of display he's shown here today. Gomes taking his chance there. Whilst it's good tactics for Hughes to have border on, might have to have some protection for him in the outfield.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. There's a lot of vacant ground down there, and Larry Gomes spotted that and went for it. Went for it pretty well too.
That's beautifully placed. A square drive probably went just a fraction finer than Gomes originally intended, but it was a lovely stroke. Just angled the bat away behind point.
Yes, it certainly was, and he's very good at that. Larry Gomes, just at the last moment there, opening the face of the bat and placing it square of the wicket.
And he's given him. Geoffrey Dujon's gone. LBW to Jeff Lawson, a thoroughly deserved wicket, his third in the innings. He's bowled really well again this morning, with plenty of pace and movement off the seam. And that one beat Dujon. I suspect pitching around about off stump, and umpire Constant was the man making the decision.
Well, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Australia. Kim Hughes keeping Lawson on, and have a look at that ball, nipping back there quite a long way. And as I said before, Dujon has been inclined to play from the crease, trapped in front, and umpire Constant, no hesitation there, raising his finger. So a big breakthrough this for the Australians. Some good bowling here today by Jeff Lawson, the one that cut back and trapped him LBW. I thought that was very casual of Roberts there. Didn't look to me as if he ran his bat in, simply plonked it down, and I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't very close. Andy Roberts looking for the single there and calling Gomes, coming down the track. And that wasn't a bad bit of fielding there, a little flick. The ball hitting the stumps, and if I'm not seeing things, that was out. And it's going to be Rodney Hogg who affected what we thought might have been a run out to take up the attack. And he's bowling to Roberts.
Well, it's gone fine, very fine indeed for 4. So 2 needed for the 200. Nicely pushed away, it'll be 2 runs here. .200 up for 6 is the 53rd over. Border out there in front of the pavilion. And he's 4 set away on the offside. Will run through for 4. Short. Asking for trouble, and Gomes seeing it pretty well now. Just lying back and giving it the full treatment. 75. 2 men out in the off, 3 on the leg. Long leg, deep square, long on. Well, he hits it a long way when he middles it. I remember Andy Roberts causing a bit of mayhem at Edgbaston in his early Test match days. And incidentally, the other day when the West Indies lost to India, if it wasn't for a stand of 71 between Andy and Joel Gardner, let's have a look at this one again. Now they didn't mean in even worse trouble. How's that? It's out, caught down the leg side. Marsh, yet another catch behind the wicket off Lilly, his first of the innings. Roberts gone for 5, and that's 7 down for 208 with 6 overs remaining.
Just what the doctor ordered there for Australia. Dennis Lilly getting the glove, I think, perhaps down the leg side there. And that one nicely taken by Rodney Marsh. Pretty straightforward catch by his standards. But Roberts, as Peter West pointed out, can be a pretty dangerous customer. And it's always pretty good to see him disappearing back into the pavilion, which is what he's doing at the moment. The West Indies 208 now for 7. Gomes is still out there on 76. And Andy Roberts out, caught Marsh, bowled Lilly.
And it's Dennis Lilly coming up to bowl the 56th over of the innings. Confident shot and another one, top edge, no problem at all for Rodney Marsh, and Lilly is having a very profitable morning. 8 down, 211, and Gomes' innings over at last. A very effective one for his side, out for 78.
Yes, well, Dennis Lilly has done it again. I must say, Larry Gomes, from the minute Dennis Lilly got the ball in his hand, looked a different player. He came in and pitched the ball short, and Larry Gomes put himself in a terrible tangle, getting a little edge on that occasion, and getting cheered off the ground as well.
3 overs to go. Top scorer, Larry Gomes, anchored the effort. Now it's Dennis Lilly, bowling to Michael Holding. Bad shot off the back foot, just gets the one.
Yes, Dennis Lilly has pitched short to these tail-end batsmen. Can be very, very dangerous if people are really swinging the bat, but West Indies have never quite got into that position, so it's tactically effective. He's pulling the ball down, getting some lift, and actually giving them quite a difficult time.
That's in the air, but it's perfectly safe, and it's 4 runs behind square on the leg side. Well, that was certainly too short. Lashes that out to deep cover, and Yallop Daniel moving into double figures, 225 for 8.
And now he's trying to give himself some room. Look at the left leg going out to the left, and he's managed to square cut it.
That's a fine shot. That really is a good shot. 4 runs. So it's Rodney Hogg's last over. Michael Holding. It's in the air. And it's Wood underneath it, and a nicely judged catch at third man. But it was a no ball. They're still running. David Constant having signalled a no ball. Yet another one. My goodness. Trying to work it on the leg side.
And the ball's flown high to third man. Wood having a struggle to find it initially. Well, we've got an intriguing situation here. I wouldn't like to call a winner of this match at this stage. Weston, it is 235 for 8. Things in Australia's favour. There's quite a lot of sunshine, and the ball doesn't move as much at Headingley when you have sunshine. Also, the outfield is getting progressively quicker. It's quite hard to keep the run rate down at Headingley because the ball does run away to the boundaries. At the same time, there is still life in this pitch.
Slicing that behind square on the offside. Clay coming round. They've taken 2, and Wayne Daniel coming back for a third. Well run. Well, it looks as if the West Indies are going to get 240. Australians had them 211 for 8. But he hit that hard. And that's a good stop. Very good with the fielding there. From the play out there to deep extra cover underneath the pavilion. Really tying himself in knots there. Marsh enjoying the joke. We're having a little conference now. Oh, this could be run out. No. It's very difficult for Rodney Marsh from that position. I'll get a run for that. Goes down as a bye.
Could well have been a wide, actually, if the batsman had stayed where he was. But he's rushed outside the leg stump, and they've gone for a bye, and they get it.
Not the full treatment. My goodness me, he gave it a real hearty crack. 4 runs square. Wouldn't say it's the most elegant shot I've seen, but it's a 250 up. This is a very frustrating partnership for Australia. When it got to 211 for 8, it looked as if they might snuff out the remaining West Indies wickets here this morning. And these runs might be critical. 250 for 8. Last ball of the innings. And they'll have a single for it, and that's a no ball yet. Another no ball. They're running a second. Won't matter if they get that. How's that? And David Constant has said it is out, but it doesn't matter because it's the last ball of the innings. It's 9 down. They had to go for a second run. So off the full complement of 60 overs, the West Indies put into bat here at Headingley have lasted the course. They are 252 for 9. And Dennis Lilly's final figures, 12 overs, 2 for 56.
Yes, quite expensive there, Dennis Lilly. Seemed to rather lose control late on. You've really got to pitch the ball up and control where the ball's going to be hit.
First run, and a risky one it was, with Vessels calling Wood through, and Wood struggled a little bit at first. Finally made his ground. Bowled him, and I suspect that's pitched round about the spot where Kepler Vessels has so much trouble. Around about the middle and leg, might even have helped it on with the inside edge or off the pad. Vessels is out for 11. 18 for 1 Australia, needing 253 to win.
Well, poor Kepler really never in any position to play that. He seems to be standing a long way away to leg, showing the bowler an awful lot of stumps.
That's dangerous. That's hit him a very nasty blow. very nasty blow indeed. Looked to me as though he started off to play it and then decided to duck.
Well, Holding still generating this terrific pace, even off a shorter run. And it's cracked him right in the side of the face there. It's most unfortunate. Just wearing a sort of semi-helmet, just with the little side pieces covering the ear and the temple, but not the rest of the face. And I should think there might well be some damage there.
And running on to the field, they're bringing out a stretcher. Joe Garner has brought that out. And it looks to me as though there's going to be concussion there. And the umpire taking a message off there to the Australian camp and into the Secretary's office. And that is absolute tragedy. The minor part of the tragedy is that it takes one of Australia's batsmen out. The major part is that the fine young cricketer has been injured. And here's Michael Holding.
Well, not much doubt that Michael Holding has become much more effective since he cut down his run. He's more on balance, a lesson for aspiring young fast bowlers. It's what you make of your run-up, not how far you run, that matters. He's now accelerating and nicely on balance when he gets to the wicket, and his beautiful action is getting the absolute maximum out of this pitch.
And for David Hookes, he has Lloyd and Richards at slip Greenwich at gully. And that's safe. Not exactly where David Hookes meant it to go. Wayne Daniel is the fielder. Hookes is off the mark with 2.
We feel certain he's got a touch, Graham Wood has got a touch of concussion, but we hope he'll be none the worse after a long rest. So Winston Davis, a newcomer to the West Indies attack. Hot foot from the Glamorgan camp in the English County Championship. Nicely pushed away by David Hookes. Well, this is a man who's, if he stays in any length of time at all, of course, is sure to entertain the crowd here. A very willing stroke maker, very powerful one as well. I suppose if you're bowling at him, Tony, you might feel that he's always likely to give you a bit of a chance.
Yes, that's certainly the case with David Hookes. 2 slips in there for the outside edge, but also likely to take you to pieces. And there's an example of what I mean by taking the bowler to pieces. A beautiful shot that by Hookes. That ball short outside off stump and smashed away to the boundary. These Australians are going to have their resolve tested out there by the pace of these West Indians. We've already had one nasty little incident. Fair few quick rising deliveries as well. Big challenge for them here, and if they can come through this one, they certainly will be very pleased with themselves.
That was a tremendous shot by Hookes. And now we've got another man in the attack, Wayne Daniel, bowling to the Australian skipper. Short, hooked away, 6 runs. Well, that's not the brightest of starts for Wayne Daniel, but a very encouraging one for Kim Hughes. He really fastened onto that very quickly indeed.
That was a magnificent hook shot there by Kim Hughes. Daniel bowling a short delivery. Hughes in a beautiful position there, going back and across and dispatching that down onto the lower balcony of the players' dressing room. Beautiful shot.
And again in good position. That could be another 6. It is indeed. It's got there. My word, what a start. This is a really challenging bit of cricket by the Australian captain.
Another outstanding bit of timing here by Hughes. This is very ordinary bowling by Wayne Daniel. And that dispatched just to the left of the players' dressing rooms down there for another 6. So 12 runs coming from 2 balls and the West Indian attack after a magnificent start by Holding and Roberts. Not looking quite as nasty now. And I suppose if the Australians are going to make any impression, it's going to be upon the lesser pace of Daniel and Davis.
Well, it's a nasty rude shock for Wayne Daniel joining the attack here. 18 runs off his first over. We've just heard a report on Graham Wood from the Leeds Infirmary. He has severe concussion and he is staying there, or seems likely to be staying there overnight as a precautionary measure. And that's out, caught by Clive Lloyd. A victim for Winston Davis. 2 down for 55. Out goes Kim Hughes for 18. Clive Lloyd. He doesn't miss too much.
That was a good catch by Clive Lloyd. Not a bad delivery either, just a little bit of extra bounce there for Davis, outside off stump. A forcing shot played by Hughes, and notice the big deflection here. The ball going away very quickly. Lloyd has got huge hands, getting them in exactly the right place. And it's a big blow for Australia. Their captain caught off the bowling of Davis at first slip.
That's beautifully picked up. 4 runs wide of deep fine leg.
That's a beautiful shot, way down to the boundary. The end of the over, the score 60 for 2.
Wayne Daniel. Fine shot again from David Hookes. Nicely timed, punched through the offside. 4 more runs, moves on to 21. 64 for 2.
Daniel having a few problems out there. At the moment he's either up or back, and that means that the Australian batsmen are going to have to either hook or drive. And obviously what these chaps try to do, these quick bowlers, is hit the middle somewhere just short of a length. Daniel failing at the moment to get that length right.
Comfortable single for Hookes. Runs through the gap between the bowler and mid-on. He was in prolific form last season in Australia, nearly 1,300 runs and a new Sheffield Shield record. So it's down to 3.8 and over now, leaving 253 altogether. West Indies card 252 for 9 off their allotted 60 overs. Oh, what a good shot with all the time in the world. Just hooked in casually for 4.
Well, this is vintage David Hookes, having got over the wobbles early on where he was hit a couple of times by Michael Holding. He's really coming into his own now. And have a look at this. The ball short, and David Hookes simply rolling around there on his back foot, smashing that away to square leg for 4. Well, Clive Lloyd now is beginning to make a few changes out there in the field. He's got a man back just behind square, as well as a fine leg.
Had a little flirtation with that one. Very close.
Yes, this was a good delivery. A bit of angle across the left-hander there, and Hookes moving back just a little, trying to run it down to third man. He didn't succeed in getting back to ball, and it was just a little lucky.
That one really tucking him up. Just the one. Leg by. Oh, that's four. That's through, no doubt at all. Well, at the moment, this game is slipping away very rapidly from the holders of the Prudential World Cup. And of course, it's such a vital match, both of these teams having started with a defeat. Oh, Yallop picks up 4 runs there, really fastened onto that. Splendid eye and splendid timing. It made it look so easy.
He's plucked that ball on the leg stump very well. I think that's probably the third 4 he's hit in that direction now. And he hit that one down to the boundary, despite the fact that Clive Lloyd has got 2 men placed in that area. So not only did he time it well, but he also placed it very well.
Yallop throwing the bat and leaving the fielder with too much to do. Desmond Haynes out there. The runs are rattling up for Australia now. 106 for 2. Yallop on 23.
Well, certainly trying to hit that one over the infield. I don't think he quite middled it, but the end result from Yallop's point of view was a good one. It went straight into the gap at third man, 4.
Oh. Well, Yallop has been transformed here after a rather diffident start against the short pitch delivery. He's looking brimful of confidence now.
Swept away into the air, and he's gone. No, he's dropped it. My goodness, Andy Roberts doesn't often do that.
Well, what will Clive Lloyd think about that? Because the West Indies attack has been put under a lot of pressure here.
Larry Gomes was the bowler, and swept high and deep, and really perhaps 2 or 3 strides to his right, and around about chest height, and popping out just as fast as it popped in.
Well, it can happen to anybody. But there he is, making a little gesture. You can't feel very pleased about that. Australia racing away, 114 for 2, only 20 overs bowled. More than well up with the clock. Winston Davis. It's in the air, it's over the wicketkeeper's head. Holding is underneath it in front of us, and that's a nicely judged running catch by Michael Holding. Well, the West Indies will be very relieved, badly needing a wicket.
Well, I think the fact that they're all clustered around Michael Holding, patting him on the back, suggests that they were beginning to get just a little bit worried. And attempted to pull shot there, top edge, straight over the top of the wicketkeeper's head. And have a look at this for a catch. Holding, a magnificent athlete, taking this right at the end, right down by his toes. He slightly misjudged it and had to stretch forward right at the end. But what a lovely catch. And so that's the end of third innings played by Brian Yallop. He certainly was very positive out there and played some magnificent shots. Caught by Holding off the bowling of Davis for 29.
So the Australian target, they started needing 4.23 and over, chasing a target of 253, so it's 137 more runs they need to win, and it's come down to exactly 3.5. And a big shout, and he's given out by David Constant, and that's a wicket, a very important wicket for the West Indies. And it's another victim for Davis, his third. What a good wicket to get.
Yes, this is beautiful bowling by Davis. He certainly got the length right and also getting some movement off the pitch, and there really wasn't much that David Hookes could do about that. An edge there which went through to the keeper, only just carried. And that was the end of a very useful knock by him. Look at the movement off the pitch.
Yes, that would have taxed the very best of players. A very nasty delivery to face. So it's 4 down for 116. And David Hookes out for a very entertaining 45.
And that's a weak stroke. Safely caught by Desmond Haynes. Winston Davis has struck again. McClay playing just a half little shot there. Started off to be an attempted pull or hook and never looked like getting it away from the infield. And Australia now in desperate trouble at 126 for 5, and Graham Wood unable to bat.
Winston Davis proving a match winner here this afternoon, coming in only because of injuries to Joel Garner and Marshall, but he's really kept coming down the hill at Headingley, getting a lot of pace, and he's bowled pretty straight. So here he comes, bowls quite close to the stumps. That's good bowling. Ball bounces a little higher than McClay thought it would, and he just top edges it nicely. Greenwich and now Australia, who've looked like winning from time to time in the last hour, and yet all the time they seemed somehow fragile, and they seemed the likely favourites, but one felt all the time somehow that they'd give it away, and that's what they seem to have done.
Rodney Marsh is away.
Rodney Marsh was telling me the other day that he was back in the runs after a lean spell that went on for what, 3 or 4 years. He'd become consistent again. And whatever way he's doing it, and it looks a bit odd with a funny new back lift, confidence is always important.
I suppose the students of backlifts might look at him and think it's a copy of Kepler Vessels, but Alan Knott comes into it somewhere, I think. It's 129 for 5. $131 for 5 wickets, Australia. 253 needed in all. Safely away. That'll run down the boundary. That's quite a distinct slope at the bottom right-hand side of the ground as we look at it. And Rodney Marsh clipped it very firmly away over the infield. I think he's going to find that very painful indeed. Struck him in what is laughingly known as the groin. And that's got to be out. Top edge. West Indies have broken through now. 137 for 6. Marsh goes. And this all seems so unnecessary because there are a great number of overs still to be bowled. Rodney Marsh gone. Caught by Haynes of Michael Holding.
Well, I'm afraid it was the ball before that did the damage. Well, Marsh took a hell of a crack in his midriff. And when the next one came down, he really wasn't standing up there behind it. He was trying to spoon it round, trying to get his middle section out of the way of the ball, and just spooned up a simple catch.
.137 for 6 after 27.2 overs. Needed only 3.58 per over now, and Australia well in excess of what the West Indies were. The only trouble is Australia have lost 6 wickets, whereas West Indies have lost only 4, and the Australians have Graham Wood unable to bat. Caught behind. Lawson has gone, the 7th wicket down, and Winston Davis has now taken 5 wickets. A great performance from him. Australia 141 for 7. No one seems to want to stay with Alan Border, who is the last of the recognised batsmen. He's 9 not out at the moment and could finish up a dozen or so not out.
Well, then let's lay all the blame at Australia's door. I think the West Indies are showing a bit of their power here today. They've brought in a substitute bowler, 2 main bowlers, Marshall and Garner, injured, and here he is turning on another great performance. So they have strength in depth, and that's what's going to make them hard to beat.
So there are 2 men way down that area, looking to save 4. One at an orthodox third man, the other almost at a line through second slip. It's a good shot by Border. Holding going for the Yorker round about leg stump. And the ball turned out to be a full toss.
Yes, well, he's standing away, he's walking away to leg and giving himself room to hit, but it's a very dangerous position to get into, physically dangerous against somebody like Holding, because if he follows you, he sees you move and then starts to bowl at you, you're in absolutely no position to avoid the ball. Anyway, he's gone round.
That's gone away down to third man for 4. A little bit frustrating for Holding, but it's excellent tactics from Alan Border, who's been stranded there as the last of the batting lineup by the sudden fall of wickets. He's on 17 now. That one really took off. This one by. Okay, that climbed very, very steeply as it went through to wicketkeeper Jeff Duchamp.
Probably out of the bowler's foot marks. I think went right underneath the bat. Yes, little puff in the bowler's foot mark and jumped right over the wicketkeeper's head.
Top score of 45 for David Hookes, 29 to Yallop, 18 Hughes. Clive Lloyd, quite a safe pair of hands. Well, almost safe pair of hands. The wind really is swirling around out there, but I think Groover might just have misjudged it a fraction as well.
I think he was complaining that it went in the sun. It certainly would be the right angle for it to go in the sun.
Order caught Lloyd, bowled Davis 17. Davis has 6 wickets now. Australia in an impossible position, and we're only now into the 31st over. 21 overs still to go. That'll be one of the most remarkable defeats of limited over history. There's Clive Lloyd, and there's the moment when it got into the sun, and all of a sudden he had to make a frantic grab at it. 150 for 8 now. Wood injured and will not bat, and the last man in is Dennis Lilly. Australia have absolutely slaughtered the West Indies on run rate. They've made 150 for 7 from 30 overs. West Indies made only 105 from 30 overs, but West Indies have one little advantage. They're going to pick up 4 points from the match. And that's it. Davis, another wicket. 7 wickets for Winston Davis. Not too much doubt he'll be man of the match here. He's come in place of Malcolm Marshall and bowled quite brilliantly in attacking fashion, and Australia are all out for 151. West Indies have won the match by 101 runs with, well, almost 30 overs to spare.